Hello.
Hello.
I'm Cass.
And I'm Emma, and this is Honeydew podcast.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We'll start off with that because we've got an action-packed episode for you today. I'm trying to bring the energy.
I really like how you sound like a race car announcer.
Oh, thank you.
We should get a flag. I really want one now.
Run that bitch around.
Well, yes, we have an action-packed episode full of many dynamics and grammar and a little bit of phlegm.
And it's a lot of phlegm on my end. I'm getting over a sickness. So I hope you're here for it.
Yeah.
I hope you're here for it to be a little viscous.
Yeah. Like my Ensure this morning. I tried to drink a little bit of it because I'm a little bit also hungover, kind of. But it is so viscous. And whenever I think viscous, I think of when you call it a spitty texture. And then I can't drink things that are viscous now anymore.
Let's talk about bottled water for a second. Nestle Pure Life tastes like spit. And I will die on that hill.
Nestle Pure Life?
Yep. I don't like that water. I don't like it at all. I won't drink it. Literally, I will be thirsty over drinking that water.
Nestle Pure Life. I feel like I need to look up the picture of it.
It's nothing special. It's one of those plastic bottles that's like very malleable. You know what I mean? Like it.
Oh yeah.
It just kind of slumps.
It's slumpy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
sure.
thin plastic.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. Oh yeah. I like they used to have like cases of this at soccer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got
I
it.
would rather drink my own spit.
I kind of feel like that way about Dasani.
I don't know. I'm sure I've had
it. I've never.
I don't dabble there.
What's your water of choice?
The water out of my really expensive water filter at home.
Of course.
With lemon.
With lemon. Oh, with lemon.
You're going to always put lemon in my water.
Did you see on Selling OC, she's a water sommelier?
Yes, I did see that.
Who knew? That's a thing.
Maybe we are too, because like Nestle Pure Life sucks.
Yeah.
Fat asshole.
Maybe we are. Do you smell your sneezes?
No.
You can't smell your sneezes?
No.
I was just thinking because as we were talking, I was starting to smell my own nose inside my face.
Please don't introduce me to a new sensory issue that I can then just adopt.
Don't adopt
because
it.
I don't have enough going on.
Every time I sneeze, I can smell it. That's just the truth. It's not scary. It's just I can smell my own sneeze.
It's not scary to touch my feet to dirt either. Yet it ruins my life on a day-to-day basis.
Wow.
Yet it's why I'm medicated.
That was a lot. That was, I feel like a detour. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we're right on the right avenue.
Okay.
Welcome to initiating sex.
Welcome to initiating sex initiation.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's like a fraternity.
Yeah.
Sex initiation.
Hear you ill.
Keep going.
That sounds different from what we're talking about. This one's consensual.
Yeah.
We'll start off with that.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
We get a lot of questions about how to actually initiate sex. I feel like we've talked a lot about initiating sex, but it's like, initiate sex.
Right.
And then get into it. You know what I mean?
Well, we talk from a perspective of having partners, having someone that we're comfortable with.
Yes.
And so we get these questions, at least for me, I've been like, you say it's sex time. You say sex time now. Clock, sex time now.
Vagina
That's
hungry.
what Mama hungry. That's what you say. You put your vagina in their face and then you have the sex. But for people who don't operate like that, this is an important topic. Know what I mean?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Do you understand?
We're trying to be thoughtful about this. You know what I mean?
Well-rounded.
We're trying to put some intention behind initiating sex.
Which is, I think, a very important part of like sex.
Absolutely.
Feeling the intention. Which is why initiating, I feel like, is a good topic to like, I don't know, to lay the platform of like, what am I trying to say? I don't
know. Lay the groundwork?
Lay the groundwork. I don't know, just for feeling good in sex. Like, I think that's a whole dynamic that really like.
First impressions matter.
Yeah. Thank you for saving me from my train of thought. Good God.
Shh. I'm finding your place.
Okay. Thank you.
First impressions matter.
Uh-huh.
And initiating sex, even if you already know the person, is again a first impression of that sexual encounter. So let's put some intention.
Took the words
y'all.
right out of my mouth.
I reached really deep inside and I found them.
You just had to swizzle around my brain a little bit. Honestly, I'm going to say the credits still go to me on that one.
I wouldn't have gotten there without you. It's like when you loosen a pickle jar.
You know how you loosen a pickle jar?
You know?
That's what I did for you for that sentence.
Thank you. And then I just took out a pickle. It was your pickle.
I made the pickle.
You made the pickle. You
juice.
pickled them.
I pickled the cukes.
Yeah.
And you're eating my cuke.
That's your business.
But yes, absolutely. And initiating when you're not typically the initiator, that is really important too, and something to be aware of, because I am not often aware of that.
It's an edge. It's an opportunity to grow. You know, there's comfort and then there's learning. There's comfort zone, then there's the learning zone. They taught us that my freshman year of high school.
Comfort zone, then the learning
when I had to go to a retreat with all the other freshmen.
Oh, that doesn't sound like any fun.
It actually was a great experience, and it was very emotional. And
because you hit the edge.
I hit the edge,
comfort zone,
and I grew.
You grew, and you learned.
And here I am with you.
Here, thank you for being here and being present. But it's not always easy to initiate sex.
No, that's why it's called an edge, and not a slide.
Nothing makes more sense than what you just said.
Thank you.
I absolutely believe that. I have faced a lot of obstacles with initiating sex.
Have you?
Yeah. I think I get in my head a lot. And I assume that I'm interpreting signs that a person doesn't want to have sex with me, or I'm interpreting like a mood switch, and then I get off. Not in the good way.
I get not in the cum way.
In the bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sensitive, I feel like, to that type of thing. Any fucking thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I let be an obstacle for me.
I feel the same way, which is why I loved the advice of this expert, Jessie Fresh. So listen to this.
Hi, this is Jessie Fresh, sex and relationship coach. And one thing I see happen most commonly with couples that are clients of mine is that initiation creates a lot of tension. And that's because one person is usually more comfortable with initiating. Maybe one of the people that aren't comfortable with initiating don't have a strong libido. It can just create all kinds of trigger and feelings of rejection potentially. And so I like to reframe the idea of initiation with instead using the concept of fooling around. When we think of initiation, there's often a jump to an expectation of how it will go, how it needs to end. And a lot of people end up thinking that it needs to end in an orgasm or in penetration, and that can just make people freeze and not feel like they can even begin or that there's room to begin. So when we think of initiation as fooling around, instead, we are able to take that pressure off. It's just a beginning. There aren't any expectations when you think of fooling around. And that's actually how you can bring it up, is like, hey, do you feel open to fooling around? It is more playful. It's full of possibilities. It's everything we want from initiating without that ick. And it has no script as to how it looks. So feel free to replace this in your vocabulary as well.
I fucking love the reframe of fooling around. Like, I think that is the most fun reframe. It's such... Like, there are still obstacles to asking that, obviously, and I think we'll get into a lot of those, but it just feels a lot lighter because there isn't an end goal with it. It's just kind of like, whatever happens. And that is so different from everything I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. Ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, we've talked to other experts about that too, where it's like, orgasm isn't the goal. You know, having like penetrative sex isn't always the goal. So that should apply when it comes to this too. And like just asking to hook up. That's like, first of all, really cute.
It is.
That feels like flirting in like a very authentic sense. And I don't know. Yeah, it just feels light, like you're saying, and happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think what still gets in the way of that is a fear of rejection.
Totally.
And I think that is a very real fear because I'll be honest, when I've asked my partner to have sex and he said no, even though he said it in the kindest way, and he doesn't have to say it in the kindest way either. He can just be like, no, I don't want to. It hurts. And it fucking sucks. And I think it's because we make it really personal. And it's like, he's saying no to having sex with me instead of just saying no to having sex, which is what it really is. But it's like really hard for me to separate those things.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you ask for sex with him?
I literally just say, do you want to have sex?
Do you want to have sex? Do you have a time of day?
Night.
Darkness.
Midnight.
Gotcha. So then when he says, or if he says no, is it like hard to go to sleep? Like how does that, it would be hard for me. I'd be like, okay.
Hard to go to sleep because I'm pouty.
Yeah, exactly.
Bitch.
Exactly. Not because of your raging crotch boner. I'm saying because
I'm so fucking hard.
I'm not saying because of that. I'm saying more because you're upset.
It's been a while, honestly, and I'll get into the reasons why. It's been a while since I have gotten a no from him.
Because she's so good in bed.
Makes it sound it is a different direction.
I don't get no's
that I'm going in. I lost your question.
Start with the reason why you haven't gotten turned down. That's fine.
Okay, so
just one of the ones.
When we were talking about initiation and when I was starting to unpack my feelings on this subject, which I was like, I don't really have anything. And then I was like, oh, no, there's so much.
Yeah.
So here's something I've really been struggling with.
Grammar. Pronunciation.
Speaking.
Just vocabulary.
In general.
And this.
Okay. We all know I have sensory health, mental health issues.
Correct.
I am a little smorgasbord of struggles. That's okay. I'm working on it. So this really has affected my libido over the past couple of years. And it's also affected, like, just literally the health state that I'm in. Because when I have cramps, for example, I'm out for like a week, generally. Menstrual cramps. And so it's not like anything's going to happen then because I'm doubled over in pain, probably vomiting. So that takes out that week.
Pants.
Or pooping my pants. That was one time.
Okay.
And it wasn't my pants. It was the toilet.
But
somebody was there to watch. Anyways. So all of these things together, like me not really being in the mood because I don't have much of a libido, or literally just not being okay health-wise because I have a million other things that are going on in my body, not just the cramps, have prevented my partner from asking because most of the time I'm not in the mood. And it's not, I didn't talk to him about this, and it's not that he thinks I'm going to say no. He knows I would say no most of the time. But is that he doesn't want to put the pressure on me to feel like I need to have sex when I'm not okay body-wise. But it's really hard because that means I don't actually remember the last time that he initiated sex.
I was just going to say, so I was like, does that feel like a lot of you having to initiate?
I'm the only one that initiates sex in our relationship. And this is a conversation we've had a couple of times. And it's hard because I totally see his perspective. I am sick a lot of the time. And it is really hard for him to know when I am okay, not on my period, not having a sensory issue, not having severe anxiety, not depressed, not having whatever's going on with my thyroid, like all of that. It's so hard for him to know that exact moment when the stars align. And I'm totally
and he
okay.
can enter you.
And then in the mood. And so I totally understand that perspective. And from the perspective of just a human being, it also sucks to have somebody never initiate sex with you. And it feels like it's a me thing. And it is a me thing, but not in the way that he doesn't want to. So that's something I've really been struggling with. And it's hard. And I don't have a good solution to it other than working on my health. So I am on a new medication that I'm hoping will help. It's supposed to impact my libido a lot less than the last medication I was on. And my, cramps are slowly getting better as I'm doing more things like acupuncture and all of that. So my health issues are getting better, and hopefully that will just naturally help things. But it is a really hard thing, and I'm sure other people experience it.
I mean,
right?
Right. It gets really convoluted, like immediately.
Yeah.
Because sex isn't, it's like a basic need, but it's not simple.
Exactly.
And it's not just sex ever. It's everything, at least for me and you. It's a lot of different things. Do you guys like, I don't know, I feel like having a code like wink, you know, as like a lead in, like I'm in the mood, no pressure, you know?
We've talked about like having like an item that I can put out.
Yeah, like
or
a sex mug.
Exactly. Like, yeah, like from New Girl. Or like different items so he knows like, oh, she's not feeling great today. So
yeah.
As is. Things are as is, and she'll let me know if she wants to do something. And then putting something out that's like,
yeah,
he can, is good. I'm ready for you.
I'm ready for you.
It doesn't, I'm not honestly that upset about the fact that he doesn't initiate much. It's a very specific circumstance. And I am not about to tell him, well, you should just initiate, because that's not the answer.
Right.
I don't want that, to be totally honest. So just something we're navigating.
Yeah.
No real advice there.
Yeah.
Just
no, I mean, but that's it. That's like the whole point of this conversation. I feel like the obstacles that come with initiating are just relatable.
Yeah.
It's like, so yesterday, thank you for sharing your story, by the way.
Yes.
Yesterday, my boyfriend and I were laying on our bed.
Oh, that was a big statement.
My bed. To be fair, he's over a lot. Okay. So it's my bed. I'm the king. It's my fucking bed.
Okay,
we were on my bed, and we had already talked about like that we wanted to have sex, and that's, I mean, it's not really helpful in terms of explaining initiating. Like, it's just we knew we wanted to have sex, so I closed the door and laid back down, but then he didn't like turn over to kiss me or anything, and I was like, okay, come on, and he's like, well, seduce me, and I'm like, no,
absolutely not.
And I was like, but I mean, it's equally as valid. If I would have said that, it would have been, you would have been like, yes, of course. But like,
well, obviously,
I get it. And so that initially was like, why are we taking so long to start sex? You know, start the sex. So that kind of like put me off. So he was going to go down on me, but for some reason I was just feeling super ticklish. So I was like, I don't really want him down there, because I wouldn't have like enjoyed it. It would just would have been like silly, and I wanted to get fucking laid. So it was simple as that. So I told him to just come up, but then he just laid down instead of like continuing. And I think it was just kind of an awkward,
nobody wants to work these days.
You gotta fucking get your ass up and work, as Kim K would say. And so I think it just like started feeling really clunky. And then he seemed fine, but I just knew like sex wasn't really going to happen right then. And I started getting really off and like sassy and rude. And he was like, it's okay. Like, sex just isn't going to happen right now. Like, we can do it later. Like, that's totally fine. Not that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, and he like was trying to get me to explain why I was so upset.
Because you wanted to have sex.
Because I wanted to have sex, yes. And also, I realized that in my last relationship, if sex didn't happen, it became like a mountain of an event. Like, if it was just, that would push back sex for months for us, because we just like, it would add to this like issue that we were having, and sex just wouldn't happen, and we would have ruined another intimate moment, you know? So I think I was getting like weird flashbacks from that too. So I don't know. Initiating can just like really, really spiral.
It brings up shit.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Exactly. So that's where my obstacles come in. They become like this snowball effect of issues, which I kind of feel like is the whole thing. Like, it's not like you get told no and then that's like the biggest issue. It's like, it's because what happens in your head.
Well, it's what the no means to you.
Yeah.
Because to me, unfortunately, and I'm working on this, yes, I'm in therapy, a no means you don't want me. You don't like me. Not that you just don't feel in the mood. And, you know, when I say no, there's a million reasons in my head. Like, I'm just tired. I don't feel good. Like, I can think of all of these things, and none of them
more valid.
Yeah. Well, just none of them like have to do with who's asking. Like it's not that I'm not attracted to my partner or would want to have sex with him. It's just I don't want to have sex. Like anybody could be in front of me right now. I don't want to have sex.
Right.
But it's like I don't make that same connection when he's asking, when I'm asking him.
Right.
And when he tells me no.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel the same because I've personalized it so much.
Yeah, so much. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we could go on for forever about how these obstacles get in the way, but let's not. I think we should be solution focused.
Okay.
And solution based.
Okay.
And we should jump into how to initiate.
I think that's fair.
And tips from amazing experts.
You don't want to keep being sad?
Not right now.
Okay.
I can't be sad and hungover. That's like a bad combo.
I'll cry later. It's fine.
I just got to pull myself together right now.
I get it.
Here is Lisa Welsh.
I love to surprise my lover with some playful silliness because sex doesn't have to be super serious, and sometimes we could all do with a bit of a laugh. So I love to keep him on his toes with silly winks, flashing my nipple at the most inopportune moments. Yep, the grocery store, sometimes in a restaurant. When I eat a banana, I'm going to do it in the most over-the-top seductive way. I'm going to tease him, I'm going to wrestle him, I'm going to pop some crazy moves with a fun dance, start a pillow fight. Any and all of those things are good enough to get you out of the normal frame of mind and get into a playful and sexy zone.
Okay. I love Lisa's advice. I think it's fun because it's like indirect, but also very direct. I love laughing and being silly. I think there have been a lot of times that sex has started with me and my partner because we were like running around the apartment doing something or like tickling each other, which I hate that. Like, I don't like
so
fucking
icky,
saying that.
Yeah.
It's so icky, but it's like true.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I start to feel turned on because I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Or like so in the moment and not thinking about all the other stressors. So I think being fun and silly with it is a really good way to get in the moment.
Yeah.
And then kind of let it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you let it trickle away from your brain, you know, all the things that would feel like emotional obstacles. So just being silly and being happy, kind of few and far between these days, you know? Like, it feels good to be happy. You're like,
a little more rare.
a little more rare. Let's add to it, you know?
Absolutely.
So it makes sense. And I love that tip. And Lisa is the ray of sunshine that would like suggest this. And I think it just
flash a nipple.
Flash a nipple. Because that was her accent.
It wasn't good. All right.
But she just makes it sound so simple. And it can be in some ways, I think.
I agree. It can be. We make a lot of things really complicated, and we do have a lot of issues that we're bringing into this. But like, if you are able to just find a way to set those things aside by like being really silly, I think it actually is pretty simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have the perfect words or the perfect like way to come on to someone. It can just happen.
It can just happen. There's also more forward ways to initiate sex. I don't have any. I'm going to be forward with that statement, but someone else does.
Ari does. Here she is.
Hey, Honeydew Me listeners. This is Ari with the Sensual podcast popping in for a little advice on how to initiate sex. There are a million ways to do this, but one that I have found really fun lately is explicitly saying it in a voice note. You can do this on WhatsApp, where you have encrypted protection, or if you're an iPhone user, just send a quick little voice note. But I love it because it can happen in real time. It's not as, let's say, explicit or risky as a nude, and it's not as corny as typing it out. So people love hearing your voice and hearing how excited you are, and that just doesn't really translate over text sometimes. And I feel like sending a naughty voice note really bridges the gap there. You could start with something like, "Hey babe, I can't wait to see you tonight, and I can't wait for you to do XYZ to me." Or, "Hey, after dinner, I would love to hear you orgasm. Here's mine." And then just make yourself come and record it for them. It's vulnerable, it's sexy, it's hot. Think of it as kind of making your own audio erotica. If it leaks, you could just say it wasn't you, because it's just your voice. Voice notes are the new nudes. Put that on my tombstone.
Direct as hell. I can be direct sometimes. Honestly, I'm quite the simple bitch. And I usually, like I said before, will just say, like, do you want to have sex?
Right.
That's how I initiate sex.
That's how I do.
There's not a nude attached to it. I just walk in.
I just walk in
Fully
nude.
dressed.
No.
Clothed. Tip to tail. I have a hat on.
Scarf sometimes.
Layers, leg warmers.
Toe socks.
Yeah.
I love the voice note thing. This is coming from someone whose profession is to speak into ears. I'd never really consider like myself having like a nice voice. Seductive. So I'd have to work on that. I'd have to take lessons from King Noir and Jet Setting Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's for fucking sure. But I feel like if I could confidently pull off a voice note, that would be fun.
That would be very fun.
If they just like put it to their ear at work.
Don't those disappear too?
You can keep them though. Like they will disappear unless you press keep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
don't
that's good
say
to know.
anything like incriminating. They can keep it.
They can keep it.
Yeah.
That can be used against you.
But I appreciate those suggestions. I think they're really fun and sassy.
I do too. And I got on that little horse and I kept riding it. And I was like, I would love to know some very specific, direct ways to ask somebody to have sex with you.
Okay.
So I went to the internets and I found not great things.
Okay, I'm excited.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I want you. And I always get what I want.
Oh, ow.
How much longer until you realize I want you naked?
How much? Like picture.
Except I would say that sassy. How much longer until you realize I want you naked?
I know.
You fucking idiot.
I kind of like that though. That's kind of funny.
Want to work out in my bedroom?
Why are these all so pornographic?
That wasn't compared to what's
coming
one
next?
is.
Okay.
Ugh, I don't want to say it.
Say it.
I want to lick your hairy snail.
What?
I
What
think
is
this was on
that?
a joke website. I think that one was on a joke website. The rest are not. That one I think was on a joke one.
What could you even be referring to?
A vulva.
What's a snail? What's snail about it?
I don't know. It can get wet.
If anything, it should be like a hairy clam.
I don't know. I guess it depends.
Okay. Okay, keep going.
It depends if you leave a trail, I guess.
Oh,
The last one was just want to get naked. I like that one.
I like that one. That one's cute. It's like back to your tip thing. Don't you have the mat, the shower mat that said "get naked"?
Mhm.
You could like flip that over and back. That's good. That's kind of fun.
I like that. It's actually my husband's bathroom mat in his bathroom.
Yeah.
So he'll see it for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because then it's like in the bathroom.
Then
It's
he's
not
just
like
going to show up naked. He walks around naked all the time.
nice.
We have huge windows too. And I'm like, we got to close the windows. Like that's inappropriate because I expect there to be children on the street sometimes. And he's like, it's my house. I can do what I want.
He's like the old man on the corner.
Exactly. And it's like, actually put your dick away.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have a very specific story that is a little bit of a going off track, but
Please tell.
but it's really funny. I was looking at something on the computer yesterday and I was sitting at my desk and then he came up behind me and we were talking about something and then he got a boner, but I could feel it against
Was
my
there
back.
a cookie?
No. There was no cookies.
No cookie boner?
No cookie boner. This was just a random boner.
He put it against your back?
Yeah.
Ew.
He was like joking around. And then I was like, stop poking me. And then he's like, okay. And then I just feel something on my shoulder. He had taken his wiener out and put it on my shoulder.
Oh, like a little parakeet.
And I turned. And I was eye to eye.
Snake eye to snake eye.
Exactly.
Ew.
So that's how you initiate sex.
That's how he does it.
Yeah.
Did it work?
We did not have sex. I said, get it off me.
Blow it away. Just chomp it. That's really funny. And unfortunately, I can picture him doing that.
Yeah.
God, that's funny.
I did find some good ideas that I liked. They aren't really specific words, but I guess they kind of could be. Asking if they want to see like your new lingerie or something like that. I think that was a really fun idea. Asking if they want to try out a new toy or a new sex position. So it's like specific. It's not general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, do you want to try this? Or the age-old secret of being like, I listened to this podcast,
right.
this thing. I feel like that's a really good way to initiate too. Like, do you want to try that?
Totally.
Right now.
Right now in my pants. That reminds me of the like long game that I played with one guy I was dating where I knew he was going to come visit me. And so I asked him, like, we were flirting, we were kind of sexting. And I was like, okay, do you prefer like red or purple? And like he gave me colors. And then he'd be like, why? And I'd kind of tease out that I was like shopping and I wanted to get something that he would like. But like I was buying lingerie. So like I teased it to the point without saying that I have lingerie, but then that was kind of fun because I had it on when he got there.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's underneath? Are you wearing it? So it's kind of like the long game, but you could do that at the beginning of the day. And then by the end of the night, if like
surprise, it's on me.
It's on me. Like that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways. It doesn't have to be like immediate initiation.
Exactly.
I feel like.
You can play whatever game you want.
Which is what Ari was talking about too. If you're sending someone something, like a nude or a note or something like that.
Yeah.
You might not be in the same room with them.
That's hard for me though, because my partner and I usually are in the same room.
And you both work from home.
We both work from home. We work right next to each other.
Yeah.
So I can. Whatever.
Just hide.
I'm hiding in the closet.
Show
I'm
him-
naked somewhere.
Show him your nipple and say I'm naked somewhere, and then he has to come find you.
I'm just not even in the apartment.
Or you're naked somewhere outside. Play A Quiet Place naked.
That sounds scary.
And when he
I don't
finds
like
ya-
scary things.
I really want to play Quiet Place. Really bad.
Do it, not with me.
No, come on. We all could do it. It would be fun.
I would scream and it wouldn't be a quiet place anymore.
They would just be able to find you.
I know.
Then you'd be out. So you can just be the first one out.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Maybe.
Okay.
Can I be it? I think I'd like to be it.
Yeah, you can be it.
I think I'd be good at that.
Okay.
I'd fall over things, but whatever.
That's
Anyways,
okay.
moving on. We also asked all of you
Mm-hmm.
your preferences in terms of initiation, and it was really interesting.
First and foremost, it depends on what you prefer when it comes to hot and heavy or slow and steady in terms of initiation. It depends, which I get. Sometimes you want it to be fast and hasty, and sometimes you want the slow burn.
Yeah.
But it was overwhelming. It depends.
And I think that speaks to like, you need to know your partner and you need to know, like, if you know they've had a stressful day, they're overwhelmed, which you should be able to tell that.
Yeah.
You probably know they don't want to just dive right into something, and you're going to need to do slow and steady. If you've been flirting all day, sexting all day, then you should probably know that you probably could try a little more hot and heavy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just know your fucking partner. Pay attention to cues.
This
fucks.
feels
You fucks.
that felt a little bit charged. No,
It wasn't personal.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It also feels like caregiving, you know, when you understand if it's hot and heavy or slow and steady. So that's nice. And then the second one, I actually was surprised that second most voted is slow and steady. So you guys love a long game.
You love it long.
You love it teased out, and I appreciate that. I think I would say slow and steady too. But what would be slow? Like, what's considered slow?
I don't know. I think I'm more of a hot and heavy person, which
Really?
sounds weird based on everything about
Everything
me.
about you? Yeah.
But I think that's what helps me get into the moment and not think about other things. It's like I need to be fully immersed in this moment. And that doesn't mean it's like I turn around and he's penetrating me.
And there's a dick on my
There's
shoulder.
a dick on my shoulder. That's what that that's what that means.
Right.
But I need to be like fully in it.
Yeah.
Or I'm not.
That kind of makes sense though, because then you can get too overwhelmed with what's happening.
Exactly.
I like makeout sessions within the throughout the day. That really turns me on and then like gets me ready to like get you home, you know? I work with my boyfriend, so I can make out with him in the middle of the day.
Hey, let's go home.
Let's get home. Or the parking garage. No, I'm kidding. We've never had sex in the parking garage.
If you're on YouTube, you know the truth.
We haven't.
Okay.
But yes,
Other
then
places.
last is hot and heavy, which that also makes sense. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Go
I will
ahead.
say 87% of you prefer to have the moves put on you as opposed to putting the moves on someone else.
Which can get hard if you two or whoever are in a relationship are both people who prefer the moves put on each other.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. Take my pickle and say it.
You both prefer for the moves to be put on you
there we
rather
go.
than putting the moves on someone else.
Right.
So yeah, if you're in a relationship with somebody who feels the exact same way, I feel like that could come up with some issues. I feel like generally there is one person who will initiate more than the other.
Yeah.
We also asked you some of your favorite ways to have sex initiated or to initiate sex. Some of them were, I'll just go down a list.
Yeah.
Watching a sexy movie, surprise kisses, jumping in the shower with them. I do this one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think that one's really fun. Spicy photos, dirty texts, massages, touching, fuck me eyes. I don't think I'm capable of fuck me eyes.
I don't think I can do that.
Setting the mood with candles and music, a booty pushback. That was the most common
Oh,
one.
yep. I do
Uh-huh.
the booty pushback because I love morning
Yeah.
sex. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I do the booty pushback.
Okay, well, there you go. And intentionally dedicating nights to each other where it's like,
Cute.
you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scheduling sex.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Exactly.
There's so many ways for that to get hot.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like that's a good way to initiate sex is to fucking schedule it and be like, this
Yeah.
is when we're having sex. And then you can just kind of like fall into it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love the booty pushback. That's so funny how many times that was
It was
suggested.
so common.
Well, because you could kind of do that anywhere. If you're laying down and spooning, if you're like standing, like
in the grocery store?
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
What if you're like
The cold cuts counter?
the cold cuts? If my boyfriend's behind me and I need to go pick something up, I'm gonna make sure that my butt touches his
Bend and
crotch.
snap.
The bend and snap.
Whack him.
Break his nose like Paulette did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I feel like that one's dynamic. It can
Mhm.
work in different locales.
Yeah.
With
that's
your
true.
clothes still on.
You don't need any special bells and whistles. You got everything you need to make that one work.
Yeah. There was also one about like sitting on a lap, on their lap, which I
mhm.
like too. Because then you can kind of like
Yeah.
scoot and wiggle.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I had to breathe so hard for that.
It takes a lot out of you.
Scoot and wiggle. Scoot and wiggle.
I forgot to mention there were some other things that I found while researching, and I thought that these ones were actually really good. Putting their hands on your body.
Ooh, yeah.
I thought that was fun. This one is bold. Letting them walk in on you masturbating.
Ah! That is bold.
Yeah.
That feels scary.
Partially my biggest fear.
I know, right? Absolutely. Maybe if it was like a skit. Like a
skit.
scene. You know,
A skit.
a skit. like you did in high school. You did skits in class.
Oh.
So I had to play Ophelia once
Oh.
from Hamlet. Yeah, from the Lumineers. I just
I
played Ophelia.
from the Lumineers once. This is great.
It was a big hit. Everyone was singing. So you should always do a skit.
Anyways.
So I mean, unless it was like set as like a scene for you guys to like play out. I like musical theater. Get over it.
Just picture somebody walking in. I would be scared. My eyes would be filled with fear. I would probably not be in the best position aesthetically.
What's the go-to position?
Nothing special. Like sitting back on my bed.
Aesthetically. Yeah.
But I'm just not thinking about what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting myself. Too much laughing.
Too much laughter.
Not good for the phlegm.
Too much happiness. This is why we don't exist at this state for too long.
Yeah, so letting them walk in on you masturbating. There's the number one tip that you're going to get from this episode.
If you walk away with anything, it is this.
Leave the door unlocked.
Leave the door unlocked.
The front door.
Do yoo-hoo right when they walk in. And just have your hands
I've been
down
waiting.
your pants.
Just jeans, both hands down the front.
Wait, do you remember the TikTok you showed me of the guy who was like, how girls wipe? And he went like this.
Yeah.
He went in like a big circle.
Swirling motion. Like how you would perhaps touch a clitoris.
Yeah, he like pretended to wipe like that. I'm like, I don't wipe like that.
Am I
That's not
doing
even
it wrong?
good,
Sir?
But then I like how he did it if the other was a penis. It was just. It was really funny. I like that. We've had a lot of silly talk just now, which is fine. It's great.
It's fine.
But there are some tips to kind of
Rein it in. Get a little serious. Not in like the stuffy way, but in the like
intentional way.
You want to be intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's Vanessa and Xander.
Hey there, we're Vanessa and Xander Marin. We're a married couple, and I am a licensed sex therapist.
I'm just a regular dude who gets to talk about sex with his wife all day.
And together we have a business where we specialize in helping couples keep the spark alive in their long-term relationship.
So what we tend to find is the longer you get into a long-term relationship, the more vulnerable it actually starts to feel to initiate sex. And so people start initiating sex in these more roundabout or jokey type of ways that don't actually end up feeling very good and aren't very effective.
So the thing with initiation is that it should feel like an invitation. Like it should feel exciting, something that you actually want to say yes to. So when we initiate in these ways, it's not exactly inviting our partner to give us an enthusiastic yes. So here's a great little tip that you can use. Ask your partner to share with you 3 specific ways that you could initiate sex that they would be really into. So you're going to get specific things that you could do. So you'll have the confidence of knowing like my partner is likely to respond well to this. You'll have specific ideas of what to do. So you're not left feeling like you're just kind of fumbling around or being awkward. And it's just a great conversation to have with your partner too, to start to identify like, ooh, how do I actually like sex to be initiated?
Okay, so I actually went ahead and implemented their advice immediately.
Nice.
And I turned to Jürgen and I asked him the question of, what are 3 ways that I could initiate sex with you? And he said, I don't know. And then I had to keep teasing it out of him. He's like, sex.
Sex.
I'm like, he's like a blowjob?
No.
And I was like, no.
No. God
Anyways,
damn it.
eventually,
Fuck.
I got these. Getting on top of him, so like sitting on his lap or something like that.
Okay.
Sending a nude. He liked that one. He's like, you should do that one. That'd be a good one.
That was cool.
Okay. And then this one, he said like whispering something to him, which like from me, I can't picture that working out well.
I feel like he made these up.
I don't know. This was after half an hour of like getting this out.
God. Whisper something. Have you ever whispered to him?
No. But like something sexual, I think.
Yeah.
Like whispering. Instead of saying, do you want to have sex? Like going up to his ear. And yeah.
Do you want to have sex?
Do you want to fuck?
Do you want to fuck?
Hairy snail.
Do you want to fuck my hairy snail?
Do you want to lick my hairy snail? Fuck. I think that's what he was asking for.
I just think you should give him what he's asking for.
I think so too.
No, you know what you could do? Have a nude of you. Go on to the green screen effect where it's just the mouth. And then whisper, do you want to lick my hairy snail?
I think that's a great idea. Instead of just recording the video
Yeah,
saying
no. Make the mouth talk on your nude.
Yeah, I think that's a good
idea.
idea.
In a whisper.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I'm so happy that you asked those questions because now you have a plan.
Now I know exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm. Did you make a list for him?
He didn't ask. So I let it go.
I love
He's listening right now. So you didn't ask. Fucker.
He didn't ask. Oh my God. That's so funny and so like right on the money for men.
Literally, there are so many questions. What did I ask him? We were driving home from something. It was like a long drive from seeing my family. And I asked him, like, what are things that are really important to him that he wants for our kids? Like, what does he want to be for our kids, kind of? Not just like a dad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what does he want for them? And he kind of like went into all these different things. He's like, I really want them to trust me and like feel like they can call me no matter what. And I'm not going to judge them or get them in trouble or anything like that. And I was like, okay, that's amazing. Then he just dropped the conversation. And then he's like, yeah. And then he just kept driving.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't have an answer.
No, I haven't been thinking about my answer this entire it's not like I asked you this question already having my answer ready to go.
But it's what a conversation is based on, is two-way.
But whatever. So that's a pattern.
God, they're so stupid. Literally, if I ask my boyfriend a question and like I just wait. I let there be silence until he asks me something back. I'm like, I get a good answer from him. I'm like, okay. Long pause.
Because I have an even better answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just them?
I don't know.
I wonder if I do that to people.
I don't think so. You don't do it to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think we do well. I think it's the ones who are a little dumb.
But no one has an excuse to be dim anymore when it comes to initiating sex because you have all of this advice. And this is all a great way. You know, you might not be an expert at initiating sex.
But there's always an opportunity to try.
Yeah.
So,
and you have so many ways to try now that aren't as, high pressure, any of that.
There's like such a variety. It's like you can use your voice, you can use body language, you can use
your nipple,
you can use audio messages. There's just walking in on someone masturbating.
There is such a range. No matter where you are at in your initiation journey, there is something here for you.
For you and your comfortability.
Yeah.
So give it a try and let us know how it goes. Yeah. To someone consenting. Don't just walk up to someone and do something.
Don't let someone walk in on you masturbating that does not
already kind of know you're there
and want to see that. You should probably consent to that first.
FYI.
Like say it earlier in the day.
Yeah, or ask if that's something they'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Because, that's just a good...
That's not okay.
And if you want to initiate some love to these two gals who are consenting, sitting on this couch.
I fully consent to this.
Head on over to Apple Podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. Leave us the friendliest of hellos, and I love you, and your podcast is amazing. It's changed my life. 5 stars. You can also do 5 stars on Spotify, only 5. And what should be an emoji for initiating if they want to leave a comment?
Handshake.
A handshake. I like it.
Yeah.
A hello handshake.
Because that was not something we covered, but that is another way to initiate sex. Hello, I'd like to fuck.
I'd like to fuck. Straightforward. I like it.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.